And I was actually still a technician when it happened, but I got bit on my arm, like deep puncture wound, and like my whole arm swelled up for like weeks.
It did puncture?
Yeah, I had to be like on antibiotics and everything. So
what?
Yeah.
Your whole arm swelled up?
Yeah, like up to like the mid part where it was just like all swollen.
Hello folks, my name is Danny Sanchez. This is my little girl Luna. We are from San Juan, Texas. You are watching the Rio Grande Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back. It's another week on the Rio Grande Podcast. So my name is Sam. So this week we are hanging out with Dr. Ireland Gonzalez. So she's come all the way from La Feria, Texas, imported to Edinburgh. And so I have Coco Puff here to kind of give us a hint on, on our conversation. He's kind of going stiff on me right now. But anyway, so we brought Coco Puff to come hang out with us because we are talking pets and animals in the valley. Dr. Ireland Gonzalez is a veterinarian here in the valley. So thanks for being here with us today. And by the way, guys, today we are drinking Earth Blend cold pressed organic juice. It's really good. This one is Little Miss Sunshine. I kind of fall in love with cold pressed juice, so check them out. It's locally made, so we got to support local. Earth Blend, it's awesome. So we had been wanting to have someone to talk about like animals and and pets in the valley, because we actually had. Are you familiar with Yaki Animal Rescue?
Yes.
It's like a big nonprofit here in the valley. So we had them on. We were talking about like strays and. They're a rescue, right? So relevant to that space, and it was relevant because in the valley, you know better than anyone else. It's one of the things that we kind of need to work on here, guys. There's quite a few dogs and cats that are looking for food outside at any given moment. So we kind of did that, with Yaki. And we kind of just realized that everywhere we go, people are having like less babies but more pets. Like it's kind of like the trend, like all over the country. But it's definitely a thing here. So anyway, so we bothered Dr. Gonzalez, or I don't even remember how that went, but we're here now together. So we made it happen. So before we start off, do you like what type of animals do you work with specifically?
So we mainly see small animal dogs and cats. We sometimes get calls and they're like, do you see like exotics or anything like that? And we don't, unfortunately. And I think that's one thing that I wish we had more exotic vets. But I mean, we're lacking in the vet field as it is still. So I mean, hopefully
like
down
here,
the road.
or just in general?
Just in general. It's a occupation I think that we need help. There's so many animals coming for us, like ratio wise. Like I think the last time I read it was like 150 animals like per one vet or something ridiculous. It's like a large amount. Then there's not enough of us. So
dang, man. Okay. Well, then I got that classic question for you. So why veterinary medicine?
Kindergarten Ireland wanted to be a veterinarian.
Really?
So, yeah. Yes. My mom actually found a paper, and I don't even have the picture of it. I should have asked her for it. Where I guess it was like a kinder project where it asked what I wanted to be when I grow up, and it says I wanted to be a vet. She's like, "Look, like you followed through," and I was like,
That's
"Oh
cool,
yeah,
man.
I didn't even know you kept that."
Full circle moment there.
Yeah.
Okay, so since then, did you ever veer off into like wanting other things, or has it been like veterinary medicine since kindergarten?
So for a short period, I did want to go into like human medicine, be a human doctor. I know that sounds weird, but that's what it is in my field.
Yeah.
And
doctor.
I kind of in high school, it's kind of when I kind of started hanging out with some friends that did like FFA and things like that.
Oh yeah,
and
cool.
So I kind of veered into, I kind of like working more with animals than I do with people, and it was just kind of the switch. And so when I started going to undergrad, I kind of just decided to set my sights on going for a veterinarian.
Okay. Do you have a favorite animal to work with?
Well, dogs specifically, but cats are cute. I love them. Some of them have really cute faces, but they always want to scratch me and bite me. So
like they're more feisty.
Yeah, they're way more feisty.
So you have more like horror stories with cats than with dogs?
Yeah.
Like for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that because they're like caged up? Like they're like claustrophobic, right? In general.
I just think they're more like independent and more like you're not going to tell me what to do. And dogs are more like you're my owner. Like I love you. I'll jump in the front of a car for you.
Oh, true.
Cats are not like that.
Ever been bit?
Oh yeah,
For sure.
by a cat. Yeah.
By a cat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking scratched, but like.
Yeah, she and I was actually still a technician when it happened, but I got bit on my arm, like deep puncture wound, and like my whole arm swelled up for like weeks.
It did puncture?
Yeah, I had to be like on antibiotics and everything. So
What?
yeah.
Your whole arm swelled up?
Yeah, like up to like the mid part where it was just like all swollen from like the reaction from the cat biting me.
And what was the situation? Just like grabbing her, or?
She was a little feistier, and it was me and another technician, and I think the cat freaked out, and like our instinct is to freak out with the cat, so we let it go.
So
and
everybody's like,
bit me. Yeah,
like the two of you and the cat are like, ah.
Yeah. Oh man, it was traumatic.
It's like I'm here laughing, and it's like a sad story. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so but since then, has that like been like still has been like the worst? Like,
yeah.
Okay, well that's
luckily enough, I've been surrounded by technicians that know how to hold and wrangle the animals for us. So I think if it weren't for that, I'd probably have more bite stories, but I'm glad I don't.
Okay, no, we don't want you to have. And so then, but the dogs are a lot easier to handle, to work with. Okay. Is there any like because we're talking about, so I mean this is the Rio Grande podcast, right? So it's about the Rio Grande Valley, or Grande Valley, depending on how we say that. Is there any like specific like challenges with like pet care that we have here? I mean, obviously we think of the heat, right?
Yeah.
Or is that like, is there like a top 3 or like something that comes to your mind right away when you think about like challenges with pets like here in our home?
So I want to say down here in the valley, I feel like misinformation, I think, is a big one when it comes to pet ownership. Like a lot of people don't know about like preventatives that we're supposed to keep our pets on, or supplements that they need, things like that. Or like example, we see a lot of parvovirus down here. So essentially that affects a lot of puppies that aren't vaccinated completely, things like that. It can be a pretty deadly virus. And a lot of people down here aren't informed on that until it affects their actual dog. So I think misinformation too with pet ownership. I think to just the cost of a lot of things in general. Owning a pet isn't as cheap, I think, as it used to be, which kind of sucks.
That's true.
And then down here, I mean, there are a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of strays, things like that too. So, I mean, people try to pick them up, but then there's like all these ownership things, like costs and all that. So, I mean, I think down here, misinformation and cost is a big deal.
Let me ask you this. Are you a Valley native?
Yeah, born in San Benito.
Okay, cool. San Benito? All right, awesome. Was that Greyhounds? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Phew. Anyway, I didn't want to get that wrong.
Yeah.
So one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if this is the case for everybody, but I think a contributing factor is that, like, for example, like a lot of our parents, like as kids, we had a dog that our parents had that was just like super tough and like never like heard of the word vet and like get their shots from like the the feed store and stuff like that. And so I think we grew up like not realizing that it's like oh, like a dog can have diabetes or like that, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I think that might be a contributing factor because like I guess like you're used to not having to, and this sounds bad, like, and I don't mean to call out all of our parents, right? Like they were all terrible pet owners, but it's just like it was like a thing of the times and of the culture. So then we get a dog or a cat and we realize like, oh man, like there's all this stuff. Like I don't ever remember giving our dog like the daily supplement. Like I don't know if our dogs ever knew the word vitamin. You know what I mean? Like so and maybe that's like a hot take, but that could probably be like a contributing, especially like now that a lot of us are gearing more towards pets and we probably are just uneducated, right? Like if maybe not even our own fault, it's just that like
I always say it's kind of like you just don't know until it happens to you, or like a friend, it happens to a friend, or like someone you know. So I think that, and I know like throughout the valley too, and like they have career day and stuff. I know a lot of veterinarians that go like try to educate like students and things like that. So, I mean, I feel like as a occupation, we're trying to spread the word for different things a little bit more, especially now with technology. It's easier to get things out, so more people are becoming a bit more aware. I just feel like the valley's its own culture. So
Yeah. So if you had to give us a letter grade of how the valley's doing as far as their pet care, how would we do? How's our report card looking?
I mean, I feel like it depends on the city you're at. So aside from like working at McAllen Vet, I do relief sometimes at different other clinics.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it just kind of varies. Like I've been to some places where like owners are like on top of everything. Like they come in for everything. Their dog like sneezes wrong and they're there. Like, and then there's some places where they're like, oh, well, we just come in for shots annually and the preventatives. And so it just kind of varies. But I mean, I think compared to how it used to be, like when I was a technician, I feel like the valley's moving up in that category for sure.
Can you share like a heartwarming story or like or it could be crazy too. I guess we did the cat one already, that the swollen arm, man, that's unfortunate. But we can let's give that little rebuttal. Like, do you have like a heartwarming story of anything in your practice so far? Or?
I want to say the dog's name was Lola. I feel like I'm probably getting that wrong, but I had only been out in practice maybe like 3-4 months. So still a new grad is what we call it, right? And she came in super sick. She was this like cute little like German Shepherd, but she wasn't like a big Shepherd. She was like little, like maybe like 30 pounds. Like she was a mix of something else. Super sick. Like just like not eating, not drinking, just laying down, like vomiting, like all the bad things. And turns out she had what we call Addison's disease. So essentially it's an issue where body's not making enough of a specific hormone. And so it kind of causes like electrolyte unbalances of a bunch of other things too. So I had her hospitalized and she was there for like a week maybe, but I just couldn't get her to eat. I couldn't get her to eat. She was on all these medications and like it got to the point where I was like, maybe she just doesn't like our food. I would sit with her in the kennel sometimes because I'm like, maybe she just misses her family. So I would sit in the kennel with her and try to like pet her and talk to her and still nothing. So finally I like started boiling her chicken at home, like just plain boiled chicken. And I'm like, okay, maybe she'll eat this. And so I think like 5 or 6 days in, like she started eating the chicken I made for her that I would cook for her at home. Like
you took her home?
Yeah. Well, no, she was there in the clinic, but I was cooking her chicken at home because she wasn't eating the dog food. And so I was like, I just want you to eat something. So I cooked her chicken at home and I took it to her and she started eating the chicken. And then after that, she started eating the dog food and slowly. And so she was there for probably like a week and change. And I felt like I connected with her. Like I would sit with her. I would make food for her. Her owners loved her so much. I think she was like a therapy dog for their son or something. So she was like a really important pet for them. And so once we found out what she had and she got better, like the owners were super thankful. She was probably like my favorite case, like for like as long as I've been out. And then seeing her back like a month later on her recheck, she was like jumping, happy, and just like a different dog. And I remember I actually kind of cried because I was like, oh, like she got better.
What was in that chicken, man?
Just plain chicken. They can't have spices or anything. But I think maybe she just needed a little bit of cooked food from home. Some love.
So on that note, is there any wait, so okay, let me ask you this real quick first. So then like, and this is probably like a dumb question, but like, can they really get like any like disease? Because you said Addison's disease. Like, I guess I'm still like adjusting to the fact that they can get like anything that we get.
Essentially. Really? And sometimes like to some owners are a little shocked, like, oh, they can get diabetes? Like they can get this, like liver disease, kidney disease, like they can get anything.
The same like type of like.
Some of it is the same. Like diabetes is kind of the same, like in humans. Like they'll need insulin twice a day, like special diet.
Same like like insulin resistance and like
some of it.
The Addison's, like the kidneys, like the adrenals, like that's weird. I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's the same like pathophysiology, I guess is what I'm asking.
Kind
Like,
of,
because
yeah.
it could be the same name, like the same actual. Like both me and my dog have like hypothyroidism or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna go see both of in our endocrinologist, me and Coco Puff together. So if you could give pet owners a piece of advice based like us, right? Like, do you have any major or like any pet peeves, like something that you want us to know? Like I wish I wish the Valley knew this, or I wish all our pet owners were aware of this.
I think the main thing would probably be like a lot of owners know like fleas and ticks, like flea and tick preventative, sure. But the big one that people don't know about is heartworms. So dogs can get what we call heartworms. And so essentially, and down here in the valley, if you look at a map, we're like in the darkest red for heartworms. And they get
Really?
it from an infected mosquito. And we have mosquitoes like crazy down here. And so, I mean, overall, that disease, like if the dog's not on preventatives, that mosquito essentially bites the dog, transfers that larva, and they start forming worms in the heart, essentially. And so, and I've just seen so many dogs just like pass away from like heart failure eventually from having heartworms. And it's just so preventable with the little tiny pill, like that's like $10-15 a month, like something so small that I just like, ugh, it's like the one thing that I wish like.
And you've seen it a lot, like
I see it a lot down here.
and
Yeah.
it's fatal. Like,
It's fatal. Yeah.
like quick, or
It can be kind of long. Like I've seen some dogs with
that's worse, right?
heartworms,
Like, cause it's a longer process.
like can go years and some months, but I mean, it puts them into heart failure. So, I mean, they get all the fluid, the difficulty breathing, things like that.
And that's a bigger deal here. Like you said, we're like dark red as far as like because of our
Heartworms.
mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I think everyone's gonna like understand that part.
Yeah.
Is it worse than parvo?
I mean, I would say parvo is probably a little worse because I mean, if the dog's not vaccinated, I mean, they're both worse, right? But I mean, I've seen so many puppies pass away from parvo, and it's just, I mean, vaccines are how we
Can they
prevent it.
survive parvo?
Yeah, definitely. I've seen some survive. As a matter of fact, we had a puppy this past weekend who went home yesterday for parvo. Like, yeah. So.
Well, not. Oh yeah.
He's doing good.
Okay.
But it can be so fatal. Like I've seen really sick ones pass, but also really sick ones make it. So it's just like depends. But yeah, it's pretty fatal, and some can be pretty sad cases. I feel most for the owners.
Yeah, I get you on the heartworm thing because you're saying that it's like it's easily preventable, right? Like that's probably the thing that irks you. Like it doesn't have to be this way, type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're taking preventatives, it's pretty like they're pretty like it's pretty safe.
It's pretty safe, yeah.
Okay, yeah, then I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And that so I guess I think that we are just not like informed, right? Like
yeah, because I feel like if people knew about a lot of these things, they'd probably understand it, and they'd be like, yeah, I don't want my dog to get that, or no, like I love my dog or my cat, like I don't want them to get that or die from that. It's just, I think, just not enough information, not enough sources.
Do you have a specific take or like a stance on letting dogs ride in the back of pickup trucks?
I mean, I've seen some cases like in the ER in the urgent care where they come in for like falling out of the bed of the truck or like jumping out of the truck, and like it's either they're really bad broken arm, broken leg, something, or sometimes even worse, open wounds. So I mean,
From falling off the bed?
Yeah, and then I've even seen some where they're tied in the back of the bed of the truck, but they try to jump out, and then the collar gets stuck. So it's just something like, I know it's done here a lot because I see it when I'm driving.
It is, yeah. The big dogs too.
But yeah, I mean, if you can keep them inside the truck, it'd be better. I mean,
is there a number one reason why someone or an animal ends up in your ER?
A lot of them are like toxins. Like they get into things they shouldn't. A lot of it is like rat bait or like,
oh crap.
Yeah, because it tastes good to them. So they eat it because it's like sweet and it tastes good, but it doesn't, I mean, it causes all these bad things to them. So, but toxins, we see a lot of hit by cars. Like, and we actually do work with the Yaki Rescue. So they actually bring us a lot of the pets that they find. Some of them are kind of sad. But yeah, I mean, a lot of them is like hit by car, toxicities, parvo.
Puppies, right? Is it only puppies?
It can affect, I mean, the oldest I've ever seen it is like a 2-year-old dog.
Oh, wow.
So, but
That's an
yeah,
adult.
it can kind of, and if they don't have any vaccines, I mean, they're always at risk. So.
Yeah, that's true. Is there any like pet myths that you wish didn't exist? Like you want to debunk anything or you're like, that is not true. Like, don't give him that.
Oh, the one that's a little weird is I've heard people giving their dogs garlic for like fleas.
Like eating or rubbing? Like ingesting?
Like they hide it in their food. And I'm like, no, don't do that because it's kind of toxic. So
Is it really?
yeah, it can kind of affect like either dogs and cats. Yeah, it can affect them a little bit.
Really?
So.
Well, then I mean, I guess I can see how it would affect the flea, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I heard they use it for like flea, like it wears away the fleas. But I'm just like, but your dog, but your cat.
So okay, let's not do that, guys. Like, don't. And that's feeding them garlic, right?
Yeah, I've heard some owners are like, I feed them garlic every day for the fleas, and I'm like,
Is there any natural stuff that works for fleas?
I always not really. So I'm very strong on the prescription side for flea and tick stuff, mainly because a lot of the over the counter stuff, since it's been around for so long, I feel like the fleas are becoming resistant to it, and so it's not as effective anymore.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So
okay, yes, because I've seen there for like flea and tick. There's a lot of like over the counter type of things.
The over the counter ones that I think still kind of work a little bit are like Frontline and I think Seresto collars, I think. Like the only two that I kind of know that still help a little bit. But I've never tried the others, but I know like over the counter stuff in general is kind of like not working as effective as they used to.
So where are you at, by the way, anyway? So it's McAllen Urgent Vet. Where is this place?
So if you're exiting off of like 10th Street, like if you're going to go like to the mall or something, that exit, there's like a plaza like to this right side. And it's got like, I think Don Donuts, there's like a restaurant, there's like a Hampton Inn, and it's like right there in that plaza.
Okay. So it's, I mean, it's Urgent Vet. So it's like a 911 type deal, like an ER?
We kind of see everything though. Like we'll see vaccines, we'll spay and neuter, we'll see sick things, like critical things, kind of anything that walks through our door. And we kind of try to do what we can, try to give the valley another option.
Okay. But this one's specific to dogs and cats though, right?
Yeah.
Like if I have like a horse, like, yeah. Okay. No, just making sure.
Don't bring me horses.
Just making sure. Okay. Has anyone brought you like an exotic animal to your clinic?
No. We get calls though. They're like, do you see monkeys? And we're like, no, sorry. Or like,
who has monkeys here?
I don't know, but I'm
what
like,
kind? Did they tell you what? You should be like, what kind? Like, just you're gonna say no anyway.
They don't tell us. I mean, probably because you're not supposed to have them. Like, I think it's illegal or something.
And there's also like animal smuggling across the border, so I'm sure like that has something to do with it. Well, we've been picking your brain and for a while now. There's a little segment we do. It's called Valley Homework. It's the Dosa Wine Valley Homework of the week. So this week, guys, the Dosa Wine, and he stayed with me this whole time, by the way. The Dosa Wine Valley Homework of the week is to send us a picture of your pet. Okay, send us a picture, DM us a picture, email us a picture of your, hopefully like something normal, like dog or cat or bird or something. But if you have like a spider monkey, I guess you could send it to us too. We won't call the cops unless like it looks weird, right? But send us a picture of your pet. Tell us a little bit about it, about him or her, if you'd like. But that's your Dosa Wine Valley Homework of the week. And this is perfect timing because he's getting a little, let me just put him down. I think he was getting a little fussy there. Okay, just making sure he's not getting, I don't know, he's smelling around like kind of suspicious for a second. But anyway, Doc, anything else you wanted to like mention? You got the valley listening. Anything else you wanted to say or get mad at us for?
Oh, I'm not going to get mad at y'all for. I would just say, I guess the big thing is to have a little patience with your veterinarian. There's very few of us and there's so many pets, so many of y'all. Like, we're doing the best that we can. And so if we take a little bit longer or it's not what you want to hear, like just know that we're trying our best to help you and your pet and just trying to look out for y'all as best as we know how to.
Awesome. You know what? You sparked one more quick question out of me then.
Yeah.
So what can we do before appointments to help you?
I would probably say just like if, like in my case, like our clinic, we see like kind of everyone from everywhere sometimes. try to come in with like as much of what we call a history as possible. So like what you're coming in for, like are we up to date on your vaccines? Like just getting down to the specifics, because the more information you guys give us, the better we can help your pet to try to figure out what's going on with them or to figure out how we can suit them today. Yeah.
Okay, so be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's her homework for us, right? For our next appointment at McAllen Urgent Vet, Monday through Friday type deal.
We're open 7 days a week.
Okay.
Mondays we're open 10 to 7, sorry.
Okay.
And then Tuesday to Thursday, we're open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Fridays, we're open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Sundays, it's 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay, cool. So there's
They're
like
varied,
you're always
but,
there.
Yeah, but we're
So
always there.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's me and, like I said, my friend, my boss, my owner, Dr. Martinez. Yeah, it's just me and her.
Oh, yeah?
Just 2 females,
Running the show.
two
Okay.
Hispanic
yeah.
females from the valley.
Yeah, heck
running
yeah,
it.
right? Yeah. Girl power, right? All right, guys. Well, this was a fun conversation. Thanks for hanging out with
Yeah,
us,
of course.
Dr. Gonzalez. Remember, do not feed your animals garlic, right? It's pretty toxic, right? So if the fleas die, like, it should tell you something, right? Like it's killing them, right? So don't feed your animals garlic. And we will see you guys next week. Don't forget to send us a picture of your pet. We want to see it. We'll shout you guys out. And now you know Dr. Gonzalez is hanging out at McAllen Urgent Vet. So we'll see you guys later. Have a nice day. See no to drugs, and we'll see you next week.
Sleepy boy.